Welcome back to the deep dive. We take that big pile of research you've got, all those different sources, and really try to distill it down for you.
Yeah, get you the key takeaways, the stuff you actually need to know to feel properly informed.
Exactly. And today we are plunging right into what many people think of as the ultimate tropical dream. Krabi, Thailand.
Ah, Krabi. Just saying the name immediately brings those images to mind, doesn't it? Those incredible limestone karsts.
Yeah, just jutting straight up vertically out of that, like, emerald green sea. It's wild.
Totally. And you see the colorful longtail boats bobbing around, the blindingly white sand beaches. It really is the definition of a postcard paradise.
It honestly is.
Yeah.
We're talking visuals that somehow look even more vibrant in real life than in any touched-up photo. It's peak Southeast Asia dreamscape.
But, and this is why we're doing this deep dive, there's always the flip side, isn't there? That stunning beauty sits right next to the realities of a super popular global destination.
You mean the crowds?
The crowds, definitely. The tourist-focused pricing that can sometimes feel a bit much. And maybe the biggest challenge for you, the traveler trying to plan this, is just figuring out the logistics. Like, where should you even stay to get the best experience? It can be surprisingly complex.
Right, and that's exactly our mission today. We want to give you the complete playbook to navigate all that.
We're going to cover everything from, how you fly in, dealing with the ferry transfers, which can be an adventure in themselves.
Oh, yeah.
To the absolute must-try local food, the island trips you just can't miss, and, crucially, those little insider tips that make all the difference.
So by the end of this, we should have a really solid, nuanced answer to that big question. Is Krabi actually worth the potentially long flight, the planning effort, and all the massive hype it gets?
Let's jump right in with the basics. Actually getting there. Krabi logistics, that's your first hurdle.
Okay. The good news, maybe compared to some smaller Thai islands, is that Krabi is actually pretty accessible.
It is, relatively speaking. It has its own international airport, code KBV, which is fantastic if you're already traveling within Asia. You'll find direct flights from hubs like Bangkok, Singapore, KL. Pretty straightforward.
But for listeners coming from further afield, say the U.S. or Europe?
Yeah, you're definitely looking at a layover, almost certainly. Bangkok is the most common connection point, and then it's just a short hop, maybe an hour or so, down to Krabi on the coast.
Okay, so you landed at KBV. What next? Getting from the airport to wherever you're staying is that first key decision, right?
Absolutely. And the airport's location is pretty decent. It's about, say, 30 minutes drive to Krabi town, and maybe 45 minutes or so to Ao Nang, which is the main tourist center.
And the transfer options. What are we looking at?
Well, you've got the usual suspects. Private taxi is obviously the fastest, most direct, most comfortable.
And most expensive.
And most expensive, naturally. Then there's the shared shuttle bus.
Much cheaper?
Which is tempting. But, you pay for that saving with time. They make multiple stops, dropping people off at different hotels. So that 45-minute drive to Ao Nang could easily stretch to an hour and a half if you're unlucky and end up last on the route.
Oof. Yeah, after a long journey, that private taxi can suddenly feel like a very wise investment.
It really can. But there's a good middle ground, too. Don't forget about Grab Southeast Asia's version of Uber. It's widely used in Krabi.
Oh, right.
You can book it through the app, you get an upfront price, and it often works out cheaper than a pre-booked taxi, but way faster than the shared shuttle. It's usually a really solid option.
Good tip. Okay, what about arriving by sea? Lots of people combine Krabi with Phuket, right? So they'll be coming in by ferry.
Exactly. Ferries from Phuket take roughly 2 hours to get across to either Ao Nang or Railay. And this is where you encounter what we affectionately call organized chaos.
Okay, explain the organized chaos.
Yeah.
It's not just docking at a pier and walking off, is it?
Not usually, no. Especially for places like Railay or some Ao Nang drop-offs, it's often a multi-stage process. Prepare yourself.
Okay.
So the big ferry, the one coming from Phuket, often can't get close enough to the beach or doesn't use a fixed pier. So step one, you disembark from the large ferry onto typically a large floating pontoon or a sort of temporary pier bobbing in the water.
Right. Already sounds a bit wobbly.
It can be.
Huh.
Then, from that floating platform, you're quickly ushered onto the smaller, traditional longtail boats.
The iconic ones.
Very same. And those boats are what actually ferry you the final short distance right onto the beach sand.
Okay, that's a process.
Yeah.
So, practical advice needed here. What should people know?
Number one, footwear. Absolutely critical. You will likely be stepping off that longtail boat into water. Could be ankle deep, could be knee deep, depending on the tide.
So forget the fancy shoes.
Forget them entirely. Flip-flops, waterproof sandals, maybe water shoes, something you don't mind getting wet and sandy. It's mandatory, really.
Good point.
Luggage handling, it happens fast. And let's be honest, not always gently. Your bags get passed from the big ferry to the pontoon to the longtail.
So maybe wrap electronics?
Definitely wise. Put laptops, cameras, phones inside a dry bag if you have one, or at least a sturdy plastic bag within your main luggage. Sea spray is a thing, and occasional splashes during the transfer happen.
Okay.
Also, maybe have a little bit of small cash, like small bat notes, handy. It's not required, but it's customary and appreciated to give a small tip to the guys who are quickly hauling everyone's heavy bags between boats in the heat.
Right. Good shout. That's really useful, practical stuff. Now, you mentioned Railay. There's a crucial point about getting to Railay, isn't there?
Yes, absolutely vital. You have to think of Railay Beach almost like it's a separate island, even though technically it's a peninsula.
Why is that?
Because it's completely cut off from the mainland by those enormous sheer limestone cliffs. You cannot drive there, you can't walk there from Aonang. Access is only by boat.
Okay, so the implication is...
When you book your transfer, whether it's the shuttle from the airport or the ferry ticket from Phuket, you must specify Railay as your final destination. Be crystal clear.
What happens if you don't? If you just book to Krabi or Aonang?
You'll likely end up getting dropped off at the main Aonang beach or pier. And then you'll realize your hotel is actually around the headland in Railay, and you'll have to find and pay for another longtail boat just to make that final 10-minute hop over.
Ah, okay. An unnecessary hassle and extra cost right at the start of your trip.
Totally avoidable if you just plan that tiny detail in advance. Know your final beach destination right from the moment you book transport.
Makes sense. All right, so we've navigated the arrival. We're metaphorically stepping onto the sand. Now comes probably the single biggest decision that shapes your entire Krabi experience.
Choosing your base.
Exactly. Where you decide to stay.
And this cannot be stressed enough. It is the most important choice you'll make. The whole vibe, the character of your trip changes dramatically depending on which area you pick. We basically break it down into 3 main options.
Okay, let's hear them. Lay out the bases.
Base 1.
Yeah.
Aonang. This is the main tourist hub. No question. When people talk about the sort of Krabi town experience for tourists, this is generally what they mean.
What's the vibe like?
Busy, bustling, very commercial. Think 7-Elevens, pharmacies, tour agencies, massage shops, restaurants, bars, all packed onto every corner along the main beach road and the streets just behind it.
So the upside is?
Convenience. Unbeatable convenience. It's the absolute epicenter for booking island hopping tours. Everything departs from here or nearby. You can rent a scooter easily, find any kind of food, any kind of service, usually within a very short walk. Logistically, it's a dream. It's your command center.
But there's always a but. What's the downside?
The downside is, well, the beach itself in Aonang, isn't that postcard perfect beach you flew halfway around the world for? It's fine, but it's busy with boat traffic. And the general atmosphere with the road traffic and the sheer number of businesses can feel less like a tranquil tropical escape and more like a, well, functional coastal town strip.
Okay, but let me play devil's advocate here for a second. If you're planning to spend most of your days out on boat trips, say, visiting the Hong Islands or Phi Phi, where the beaches are spectacular, does the quality of the sand right outside your hotel in Aonang really matter that much?
That's a totally fair point.
Isn't the sheer convenience of being able to walk out, book a tour easily, and get going quickly worth sacrificing a bit of immediate beach beauty?
It absolutely can be, and that's the critical calculation you need to make. For the traveler who wants to pack their itinerary, see as much as possible, and minimize transit time for tours, Aonang is probably the smartest choice. It just works.
What?
But if your dream is to wake up, step outside your bungalow, and immediately feel that sense of quiet, tropical beauty and seclusion, Aonang will likely disappoint on that front. It serves its purpose as a fantastic base camp, but it's not the destination itself, if that makes sense.
It does, which leads us perfectly to base 2, Railay Beach.
Ah, really? Now, this is the postcard.
This is where those iconic photos are often taken, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Remember, it's that peninsula cut off by cliffs, only reachable by boat. That immediately gives it a more secluded, special feel. The vibe is much more relaxed, a bit bohemian, slower paced.
And Railay itself is sort of split, isn't it? It's not just one beach.
Correct. You need to understand the geography. There's Railay West, which is the main stunning beach. Wide sand, beautiful clear water for swimming, generally where the slightly more upscale resorts are located.
Okay.
Then there's Railay East. This side faces mangroves, so the shoreline isn't really for swimming. But this is where you find more budget-friendly accommodation options, and it's known for its cool, laid-back bars and restaurants, especially in the evening.
And how far apart are west and east?
That's the beauty of it. They're connected by a pleasant paved walking path that takes maybe 10 minutes max, strolling through the resorts. Really easy to move between them.
And Railay has a specific claim to fame, besides the beauty.
Oh, yeah. It's a world-renowned rock climbing destination. The
Yeah.
quality and accessibility of the limestone cliffs here are just legendary. Climbers come from all over the globe.
For all levels, like, can beginners try it?
Totally. There are routes and guiding services for absolute beginners right up to seriously expert climbers. If rock climbing is even remotely on your radar, staying in Railay makes a lot of sense.
Okay, Railay sounds idyllic. What's the catch? There's always a catch.
The catch is basically twofold. One, because it's a captive location, everything, literally every bottle of water, every bag of rice has to be brought in by longtail boat. Prices for food, drinks, and general supplies are noticeably higher than in Ao Nang.
You pay for the paradise tax.
Pretty much. And two, while some boat tours do depart directly from Railay, many of the bigger tours, especially those needing a proper pier, still leave from Ao Nang. So if you're staying in Railay and want to do one of those tours, you have to factor in the time and cost of getting a separate longtail boat back over to Ao Nang first.
Right, that extra logistical step again.
Exactly. Manageable, but something to be aware of.
Okay, so Ao Nang for convenience, Railay for beauty and climbing. What's base 3?
Phase 3 is Krabi Town, and this offers a completely different flavor, a real contrast to the beach scenes.
Where is Krabi Town located?
It's situated inland on the Krabi River, not on the coast. So, crucially, no real swimming beaches right there. It's where the bulk of the local population actually lives and works.
So the vibe is more authentic Thai life.
Much more so. It feels grittier, more real, less polished for tourists. And because of that, it's significantly cheaper than either Nang or Railay for accommodation and food.
Mm-hmm.
The focus here is definitely on local culture, local markets, everyday life.
And it has a specific highlight, doesn't it?
It does. It's famous for its night market, particularly the weekend market. The sources consistently rate it as one of the best, most atmospheric night markets in the whole region. A fantastic place for food and soaking up local life.
So who is Krabi Town best suited for?
Primarily, I'd say it's great for serious budget travelers who prioritize saving money over immediate beach access, or for travelers whose main interest is cultural immersion, seeing the local side of things, and diving deep into the food scene via the market.
But maybe not for the typical first-time visitor wanting that classic Krabi beach holiday.
Generally, we'd advise against it as a primary base for that kind of trip. It works brilliantly as a day trip, maybe an overnight specifically for the weekend market. But if your main goal is waking up near that turquoise water and those limestone cliffs, basing yourself in Krabi Town means you'll be spending time and money on transport every day just to get to the coast.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. So the choice is really efficiency hub, Ao Nang, postcard seclusion, Railay, or local authenticity, Krabi Town.
That sums it up perfectly, and
Yeah.
getting that choice right really sets the stage for everything else.
All right, let's shift gears to something universally appealing. The food. Time for a culinary deep dive into Krabi.
Yes, and Krabi delivers across the entire spectrum here. You can find amazing little street food snacks like grilled meat skewers for literally pennies, maybe 50 cents US,
Raw.
all the way up to really quite sophisticated high-end dining experiences in the fancy resorts, often with incredible views.
Obviously, the Thai classics are everywhere. Pad Thai, green curry. Are they good here?
They are generally excellent, yes. You can't really go wrong with the standards, but given Krabi's location on the Andaman coast, the real star, the thing you absolutely must focus on, is the fresh seafood.
Okay, tell us more. What's special about the seafood here?
Well, Southern Thai cuisine has its own distinct personality compared to, say, Bangkok or Northern Thailand. They use a lot more fresh turmeric, which gives dishes a beautiful golden color. Coconut milk features heavily, making curries rich. And they are not shy with fresh chilies. Things can get properly spicy.
Ooh, good to know.
So you want to look for dishes where the local catch is front and center. Think huge, succulent grilled prawns served with name Jim seafood, that classic spicy, sour, garlicky dipping sauce. Or maybe a whole fish, deep fried until crispy and drenched in a sweet, sour, and spicy sauce.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Is there a specific local style to ask for?
You could try asking for seafood prepared galamang style. It's a local term implying it's cooked with lots of regional herbs, maybe some shrimp paste, plenty of chili, and lime. It really highlights that fresh, punchy coastal flavor profile. It takes advantage of what's pulled right out of the sea that day.
Fantastic. What about comfort food? Something maybe less fiery.
Then you need to seek out Massaman curry. It's often highlighted in the research. It's quite different from green or red curry.
How so?
It's much milder, richer, almost like a stew. It has influences from Malay and Indian cooking, so you'll find ingredients like potatoes, peanuts, cardamom, cinnamon, often made with beef or chicken. It's incredibly satisfying and warming, a great dish if you need a break from intense spice.
Sounds delicious.
Yeah.
And dessert. Is there one thing we absolutely cannot miss?
Oh, it's practically the law in Thailand. You have to eat mango sticky rice. Seriously.
Okay. Why is it so essential?
It's just perfection. You get perfectly ripe, sweet, fragrant mango served alongside warm, sticky rice that's been steamed with coconut milk, and then it's all drizzled with this extra, slightly salty, sweet, rich coconut cream sauce.
Wow.
The combination of temperatures, textures, and flavors, sweet, salty, creamy, fruity, it's just magical. Don't just have it once.
Mm-hmm.
Try it from a few different street vendors. Everyone has their own little variation. It's a must.
Consider it mandated. Now, a crucial question for many travelers.
Right.
How do you find the really good, authentic stuff without getting ripped off? Any strategy?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Key strategy here. The number one tip, generally avoid the restaurants that line the main beach road in Ao Nang itself.
Why specifically those?
They're almost exclusively geared towards tourists who are right there and maybe don't want to walk further. This means the prices are usually inflated, sometimes significantly, and the quality can be really hit or miss because they're focused on high turnover, not necessarily authentic flavor.
So where should you go instead?
It's simple. Just walk 1 block, maybe 2 blocks inland from that main beach road.
That's it.
That's usually it. As soon as you get away from the absolute beachfront, you start finding smaller, often family-run places. The prices drop noticeably, maybe 30%, sometimes even 50% cheaper.
And the food quality?
Generally much, much better. More authentic, more flavorful. You'll know you're in the right place when the menu isn't a giant laminated book with pictures of everything in 5 languages, and when you see actual Thai people eating there too. That little bit of walking pays off hugely in both cost and taste.
Excellent insider tip. What about the night markets? You mentioned Krabi Towns is legendary.
Yes. The weekend night market in Krabi Town is an absolute must-do if your visit overlaps. But Ao Nang also has its own smaller nightly version, which is still great fun.
Paint a picture for us. What's the experience like?
It's just a fantastic assault on the senses in the best possible way. The air is thick with smoke and steam. You smell grilling meat, frying onions, sweet coconut pancakes, maybe some durian. There's music playing, lots of chatter in Thai and other languages, locals and tourists mingling. You just wander from stall to stall, grab a couple of those cheap meat skewers, try some fresh spring rolls, get a fruit smoothie blended right there, maybe some pad thai cooked fresh in a huge wok.
Sounds like the heart of the place.
It really is. You can basically assemble a whole amazing meal just by grazing from different stalls, all for just a few dollars. It's vibrant, it's delicious, and it feels like the true pulse of Krabi after dark. Non-negotiable experience.
Okay, my mouth is watering. That alone sounds worth the trip.
But people primarily come for the scenery, the activities. Let's get into the must-do adventures.
Right. And unsurprisingly, most activities in Krabi revolve around 2 things. The stunning water and those incredible limestone cliffs.
Let's start with the water. Island hopping boat tours seem like the absolute #1 thing.
They are. Pretty much everyone does at least one. It's the main way to see those famous postcard views. There are 3 main popular tour options you'll see advertised everywhere, and it's good to know the difference. Okay, break them down for us. Option 1.
Option 1 is the classic, the 4 Islands tour. It's kind of the standard introductory package. Typically hits places like Koh Lanta, the funny-shaped chicken island.
Chicken Island?
Yeah, it genuinely looks like a chicken's head and neck from one angle. Also, Koh Tub, which has a cool sandbar connecting it to another island at low tide, and usually includes a stop at Phra Nang Cave Beach, which is technically part of Railay.
Sounds like a good sampler. Convenient, probably covers the highlights nearby.
Exactly. It's convenient, relatively affordable, and gives you a taste of that classic Krabi scenery close to Ao Nang.
What's the catch? You hinted there might be one.
The catch is crowds. Because it's the easiest, cheapest, and closest tour, it is extremely popular. You will likely be sharing those beautiful spots with a lot of other boats and people, especially during peak season or midday.
Okay, so if you really dislike crowds.
Maybe try to find a tour that leaves super early in the morning to beat the rush, or potentially consider one of the other options.
Which brings us to option 2.
Option 2, and often recommended as a slightly better escape, is the Hong Islands tour.
Hong Islands. Why is this one different?
The main reason is geography. The Hong Islands archipelago is further away from Ao Nang than the Four Islands group. This means fewer tour boats make the longer journey.
Ah, so inherently less crowded?
Generally, yes. Significantly less crowded, usually. And the highlight here is really special. It's a hidden lagoon inside Koh Hong Island itself.
Inside the island. How does that work?
You actually enter through this narrow, dramatic gap in the towering cliffs. Your boat squeezes through this opening, and suddenly you're in this completely enclosed, calm, emerald green lagoon surrounded by high limestone walls.
Wow, that sounds incredible.
It honestly feels like you found a lost world. It's serene, it's stunningly beautiful, a real wow moment that makes the slightly longer boat trip totally worthwhile.
Okay, Hong Islands sounds like a strong contender. What's the third main option?
The third option is the superstar, the Phi Phi Islands tour.
Right, made famous by the movie The Beach. This is probably the most famous name.
Absolutely. This tour takes you out to the Phi Phi archipelago, the main draw being Maya Bay, the actual beach from the film.
And is it as beautiful as it looks?
Visually, yes. It is breathtakingly beautiful. The cliffs, the watercolor, it's undeniably spectacular. However, there's some really important context you need here.
Okay, let's have it.
Due to massive over-tourism in the past, which severely damaged the coral reefs and the whole ecosystem, Maya Bay was actually closed completely for several years.
Oh, wow, I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, it was a drastic but necessary measure. Now it's reopened, but with very strict rules to protect the recovery. The most significant one for visitors is that swimming in the main bay area is often prohibited.
Really? You can't swim at the beach?
Often, no. You can usually walk on the sand, take photos from designated areas, admire the view, which is still amazing, but actually getting in the water right there might be off limits to allow the marine life to continue recovering undisturbed. You need to manage your expectations about that.
That's a really crucial piece of information. Thanks. Anything else about the Phi Phi tour vibe?
Yeah, just be aware that because it's so famous, it attracts huge numbers of visitors, and the general atmosphere, particularly around the main island, Phi Phi, where boats dock and people have lunch, can be very lively. Let's say high energy.
Meaning potentially party-like.
It can definitely lean that way. Lots of boats, loud music sometimes. If you're seeking peace and quiet contemplation of nature, Phi Phi might feel a bit intense or overwhelming compared to, say, the Hong Islands Lagoon.
Good to know. Okay, 3 distinct tour options. Any general tips that apply to booking any of these boat trips?
Yes, one really important practical tip. If your budget allows, seriously consider paying extra for a speedboat tour rather than the standard traditional longtail boat, especially for the longer trips like Hong or Phi Phi.
Why is the speedboat worth the extra cost?
Several reasons. Speed, obviously. You spend significantly less time traveling between islands and more time on the islands for snorkeling. They handle choppy water much better, so it's a more comfortable, drier ride.
Right. Longtail boats can be quite wet and bumpy.
They absolutely can, especially on longer open water crossings. Speedboats also often carry fewer passengers than the largest longtails, so it can feel slightly less crowded on board. For the longer distances, that extra comfort and speed really enhances the whole day. It's usually money well spent.
Makes sense. Okay, beyond boat tours, Krabi is synonymous with those cliffs. Let's talk about adventures involving the walls themselves. Rock climbing.
Yes. As we mentioned when talking about Railay, Krabi, and particularly the Railay Peninsula, is a world-class rock climbing hub. It's one of the top destinations on the planet for it.
And accessible for beginners, too, you said.
Absolutely. There are tons of reputable climbing schools offering half-day or full-day introductory courses. They provide all the gear, expert instruction, and take you to beginner-friendly cliffs. It's a fantastic way to try it out.
What's the appeal? What makes climbing there special?
Well, the limestone itself is amazing to climb on lots of features and holds, but honestly, it's the views.
I bet.
Being up on that cliff face, maybe 30, 50, even 100 feet up, looking down over the entire bay, you see the turquoise water, the jungle canopy, the other islands, those little longtail boats looking like toys below you. It's just an absolutely unforgettable perspective, a real core memory moment.
Sounds incredible. And for the really adventurous.
There's also deep water soloing, or DWS. That's climbing on cliffs directly over the sea without ropes. If you fall, you just splash into the water. It requires specific conditions and guiding, but it's another level of thrill available there.
Oh, okay, maybe not for everyone. What about a different kind of climb? Something less technical but still challenging.
Then we have to talk about the Tiger Cave Temple. Wat Tem Sue.
I've heard about this. This involves steps, right? A lot of steps.
A lot of steps is an understatement. It's a significant physical challenge. The main event is climbing to the temple complex and giant Buddha statue at the summit of a karst peak. And the way up is via a staircase consisting of 1,237 steps.
1,237 steps.
Okay. Are they nice,
Yeah.
even steps? No. They are steep. They are uneven in height and width. They are often crowded with other climbers and sometimes monkeys.
Monkeys?
Yes, troops of macaques live on a mountainside and can be quite bold. And you are doing this climb in intense, sticky Southeast Asian humidity.
So basically it's a serious workout.
It is absolutely a serious workout. You need to be prepared, wear proper footwear, not flip-flops, carry plenty of water, start as early in the morning as possible to avoid the worst of the midday sun. You will sweat profusely.
Sounds punishing. Is it actually worth the effort?
The unanimous verdict from the sources and personal experience is yes, absolutely, unequivocally worth it. When you finally reach that summit, catch your breath and look out.
What do you see?
You get the stunning 360-degree panoramic view over the entire Krabi landscape. You see rolling jungle, the patchwork of fields and plantations, the other karst formations dotting the horizon, sometimes a glimpse of the distant sea, and right there with you is this enormous, serene, golden Buddha statue. It's a profound sense of accomplishment mixed with breathtaking beauty. It genuinely feels like you've earned that view, worth every single sweaty step.
Okay, you sold me. Tiger Cave Temple goes on the list.
Yeah.
What if people want something active, but maybe less vertical? Lower energy options?
Plenty of those, too. Krabi isn't just about extreme exertion. You could take a lovely day trip inland to the Emerald Pool Crystal Lagoon. It's this beautiful, naturally warm, clear, spring-fed pool in the middle of the jungle. Very refreshing.
Sounds nice.
Often combined with a visit to nearby natural hot springs, where you can soak in mineral-rich warm water. Very relaxing. Or another great option is kayaking.
Kayaking where? Through the sea caves.
You can do that, but a really popular and beautiful option is kayaking through the mangrove forests, especially the ones near Krabi Town or Ayotha. You paddle through these quiet, winding channels surrounded by the unique mangrove ecosystem. It's peaceful, great for spotting wildlife like birds and monkeys, and offers a totally different perspective than the open sea.
Nice. Lots of variety then. Okay, we've covered the highlights, the must-dos. Now for the equally important part, helping the informed traveler avoid the pitfalls. What should people watch out for or maybe skip?
This is crucial for maximizing your enjoyment and your budget. First, let's circle back to booking those boat tours. Be cautious about the touts, the guys walking up and down the beach in Ao Nang trying to sell you tours.
They offer cheaper prices, right? That's the lure.
Exactly. They might undercut the official agencies by a small amount, but that saving almost always comes at a cost in quality. You often end up on more crowded boats, the schedules might be less reliable, departure times can slip, and you might feel rushed at the actual sites.
So the advice is?
Stick with the established, reputable tour agencies that have actual physical offices along the main roads in Ao Nang or Railay. Read reviews online if you can. Paying slightly more for a well-organized, reliable tour with good safety standards is almost always the better value in the long run.
Good advice. What else to skip or be wary of?
Reinforcing the food tip. Actively skip those restaurants right on the main drag with the massive photo menus in multiple languages. They are almost universally tourist traps, overpriced and mediocre. Walk inland.
Got it. Walk inland for food.
What else? The fire shows on the beach, you'll see them advertised everywhere in the evenings. While some performers are genuinely skilled and put on an impressive show, many of them can feel a bit repetitive, a bit tired, and primarily designed to get you to buy overpriced drinks at the bar hosting them. Don't feel like you have to see one every night or even at all. There might be more authentic or interesting ways to spend your evening.
Okay. And maybe one more pitfall to avoid.
I think a big one is overscheduling. It's so tempting with all these amazing islands and activities to book a tour for every single day. Bang, bang, bang.
Right, to see it all.
Yeah. But Krabi's beauty also lies in just being there. We strongly recommend building in some downtime. Leave a day or two completely free.
What should you do with that free time?
Rent a scooter if you're comfortable and licensed and extremely careful. And just explore. Find a smaller, less famous beach. Discover a local viewpoint. Or honestly, just spend a whole afternoon lounging by your hotel pool, reading a book, and soaking it all in.
Right. The magic isn't just in the big-ticket items.
Exactly. Those quiet moments, those unplanned discoveries, the simple act of relaxing in that beautiful environment, that's often where the real magic of the trip happens. Don't schedule it all away.
That's really wise advice. So, stepping back from the itineraries and the pitfalls, how would you describe the overall vibe of Krabi? What does it actually feel like to be there?
I think the defining word is contrasts. It's a place of incredible, sometimes jarring contrasts.
Like what?
Like the sheer difference between the main road in Airnang, loud, busy, chaotic with tuk-tuks, vendors, traffic, and the almost spiritual quiet you can find on Railay Beach at sunrise, just a 10-minute boat ride away. It's like two different worlds coexisting.
What else contributes to the vibe?
The soundscape is unique. That constant, distinctive roar and putter of the longtail boat engines, it becomes the background soundtrack to your entire trip. You hear it everywhere. It's the sound of Krabi's commerce and connection.
And the smells, the feeling.
Oh, yeah. The sensory blend is intense. You get the sweet, heavy scent of frangipani flowers mixed with salty sea air, sunscreen, and then overlaid with the sharp, savory smells from a nearby food stall. And you feel that heat, that deep, wet, tropical heat that sinks into your bones. You feel like you need a shower 5 minutes after taking one.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
And another interesting aspect of the vibe is how international and, in a way, democratizing it feels.
What do you mean by democratizing?
Well, you'll find yourself sharing that same slightly battered longtail boat heading out to the Hong Islands lagoon with everyone. A family from Europe on a big holiday, a couple staying at a super luxury resort, and a young backpacker traveling on a shoestring budget.
Right. Everyone experiences the same core scenery together.
Exactly. The incredible natural beauty is the great equalizer. Everyone's crammed in together, experiencing the same spray, heading to the same beautiful place. There's something quite cool about that mix.
So if you had to sum up the overall atmosphere in a phrase.
I'd call it accessible adventure. The landscape itself, those towering cliffs, the dense jungle, the open sea, feels genuinely wild, untamed, epic. But it's underpinned by this incredibly smooth, well-developed tourist infrastructure. It's easy to get around, easy to book things, easy to find food and comfort. So it feels adventurous, but also safe and manageable. It's like, proper adventure. But there's always a fresh fruit smoothie waiting for you just around the corner.
Accessible adventure with a smoothie chaser. I like that.
Pretty much sums it up.
All right. We've covered the journey, the bases, the food, the tours, the pitfalls, the vibe. It's time. Let's bring it all together for the final verdict.
The big question we started with. After weighing the logistics, the potential crowds, the costs against the undeniable beauty and the sheer range of experiences, Krabi, Thailand. Is the postcard worth the price? Is it worth the effort?
For me, having looked through all this research, synthesized the experiences, my answer remains a definite, almost unequivocal yes.
Strong stance. Why so definitive?
Because the natural beauty is genuinely world-class. It's not just hype. This is one of those places that often looks better in reality than even most stunning photographs suggest. That feeling when you crest the hill at Tiger Cave Temple or glide into that Hong Island's lagoon, those aren't just pretty sights. They feel like genuinely transcendent moments, life-affirming almost.
Okay, fair enough. My verdict is also yes, but with a crucial condition attached.
Which is?
It is absolutely worth it if you plan it right. If you just rock up, stay on the main strip in Onang, only eat at the tourist restaurants, and take the most crowded boat tour, you might leave feeling it was a bit overrated or too commercial.
But if you're smarter about it.
But if you actually use the insights we've discussed, if you consciously choose the base that best suits your travel style, convenience versus seclusion versus local feel, if you seek out authentic food just a block off the main road, and if you prioritize quality tours, maybe splurge on that speedboat, or time your visits to avoid the peak rush, then yes, absolutely, you will find that magic. The paradise promised in the pictures is definitely there to be found.
So let's summarize who this destination is really ideal for, who should definitely have Krabi high on their list.
It's perfect for the adventure seeker, someone who wants to hike, climb, kayak, explore. It's obviously fantastic for the beach lover, but specifically the kind who appreciates dramatic landscapes alongside their sand and sea. Landscape photographers will be in heaven.
Anyone else?
And I think it's particularly brilliant for a first-time visitor to Southeast Asia. It offers such a great, accessible mix of everything. Stunning scenery, incredible food, a taste of Thai culture, relatively easy logistics. It's a fantastic introduction.
Okay. And conversely, who might want to give Krabi a miss? Who might be better served looking elsewhere?
Well, if your absolute top priority is total, undisturbed peace and quiet with virtually no other foreigners around, Krabi's popularity means that's hard to find consistently. You'd need to seek out a much less developed, more remote island for that kind of solitude.
Or if deep cultural immersion away from tourism is the goal.
Exactly. If you want to spend weeks truly embedded in local Thai life, far from the tourist trail, Krabi's main areas might feel a bit too geared towards visitors. Again, a different region or a less famous island might fit better.
But for the vast majority of travelers looking for that blend of stunning nature, adventure, good food, and relative ease.
For them, Krabi absolutely delivers. It hits that sweet spot beautifully. It lives up to the promise of paradise, provided you approach it with a little bit of planning and awareness.
And maybe a final thought for you, the listener, to take away. Something to chew on.
I think it's this. The true magic of Krabi isn't just found in ticking off the big items. The Four Islands tour, the Phi Phi viewpoint, those are amazing, yes. But the real essence often lies in the moments between those things.
How so?
It's the taste of that perfect mango sticky rice from a street stall you stumbled upon. It's the feeling of the wind and spray as your longtail boat speeds across the water. It's that first glimpse of the limestone karsts appearing through the haze as you arrive. It's those quieter, sensory, reflective moments that stitch the whole experience together and elevate it beyond just a checklist. That's the deeper layer of the postcard picture.
Find the magic in the moments between the milestones. A perfect thought to end on.
Until next time, keep exploring.